So we're gonna do some stuff with Armorsmith and Pepakura Designer. We're gonna start with how to redimension things or dimension things, because sometimes the files come too small or too big for you, so you need to, well, put them in the right size or as close as possible to the right size. In my view, Armorsmith is a better program to do it, but Pepakura, it's more intuitive and it's easier to work with it. So one thing you got with, for example, with Armorsmith, which is different than Pepakura, is that Pepakura has virtually no support, or get some support from the community, but
yeah, on Facebook groups
and such, but you get, well, virtually no support or no decent support. The thing with Armorsmith is that it was made by a cosplayer for cosplayers. So you got a group on Facebook on which the creator is there. Is actually there, so you can
report bugs, make suggestions.
Report bugs, make suggestions, and everything in between. And the guy is actually pretty cool, and some suggestions, if he feels that they are valid and he can make the program work with them, he implements them. So
which one are you gonna do first?
So which one are we gonna do first? We're gonna do Pepakura first because it's easier, and so I'm gonna change this to a split screen with Pepakura. Should be, I'm the small head up there. You should have the screen of Pepakura here. And first you need to, import the file. So we're gonna go to File, Open, and this ones I have here on my desktop. So we're gonna work with an armor, and I'm gonna work with the aliens armor because, well, I know this one pretty well. So I'm gonna open the chest plate. I have here the back armor, the chest, the lower ab, all the pieces are here. So I'm gonna open right now, I'm gonna open the chest. So okay, so I have here my piece, and I can okay, so if I press my my right mouse button, okay, right mouse button.
Everybody knows which one is the right mouse button.
I can rotate the piece so I can see the several parts there are. Okay, so I can see here that I have 3 elements. I have these 2 pieces that go on the shoulders.
You froze. Why you froze? Oh, there you go.
So I got these 2 pieces that go on the shoulders, and then I got the main armor, and then we have 3 supports. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 supports right here on the back. Okay, so first thing I need when I'm going this side of this, this side of the screen, we have the 3D image of the armor, and on the right side of the screen you have the planification of the pieces, of all the pieces. Okay.
What are you doing?
Okay, so yeah, this is the one I want. Okay, so okay, for example, I can come here and see, check.
Wait up.
Why?
Because you froze for me. Okay.
I'm okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
So apparently we freeze sometimes.
For a few seconds, but it's okay.
So okay, if I click with the right mouse on this side, I get some options. Okay, so I got the select and move, a rotate, a join disjoint face, edit flaps, input text, check corresponding face, and edge color.
Okay. I do not. I am watching on a different computer, and I see the mouse arrow going up and down on the screen, but I do not see those options you are seeing on your screen. So why do I not see those options?
I don't know.
Because I do not.
It's good. Okay, so right mouse button here. You have select and move, rotate, disjoin, join face, edit flaps, input text, blah blah, edge color, check corresponding face. Okay, this I'm gonna click on this check corresponding face because this is really useful, and it opens a part list that you can close. No, you cannot close. So what you got here is that I can click on a piece here and it shows the piece on the 3D where it is. So if I am to click this one, it will show it right there. Okay, this is especially useful because you can do it the other way around, so you can click on the pieces on your armor, on your 3D, and see where they are in the paper. So when you're assembling everything, you can start, for example, you start here with this one. You go and cut from page 3 the piece that is on the bottom, it's this one. And then you need to cut the piece that joins with this one. Let's see, to the left, and you choose, and it's this one. And then you choose another one, and another one, and another one. You can see that the pieces that get the red square around, they will change. Okay. Another useful thing that you have with this program is that when you go with this check corresponding face, you can, when you go on the edge of the piece, it will show this arrow, this two red, this arrow with these two red perpendicular-ish bars, and this actually is what connects where, okay, in your 3D model and on your when you're assembling the things. So it's also really useful, so you can see what goes where. So this tool of join and disjoin faces, it's used. I'm gonna zoom this in. Okay, to move the.
Just show people how to zoom in and out.
Okay, to zoom in and out, just use the scroll in your mouse, the wheel, and then to move the pages around, you hold the right button and you just drag. Okay, so I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna use this tool, this join and disjoin tool. You can, it's this one also. Okay. And you can go here, and if it's green, you just click once, and then they are separated. They are now two different pieces. or you can go, and if they are red, you can double click and they join, and you have a bigger piece. Okay, this is good because you can actually prepare your model for foam, in which you want the minimum amount of pieces possible, and also you can go here and do the edit flaps, go to detail, and you can switch the flaps from side to side. And here, I think it's here on the, yeah. No, it's not here. Where are, should be here. Oh yeah, if you go to change shape, you can change the height of the flaps. For me, I think that 2 millimeters. This is set in millimeters, by the way. 2 millimeters, it's pretty good for paper and for card. And if you want to go to foam, you set this to 0, and you get no flaps on your
model.
On your
Patterns.
On your patterns, yeah. That was the word I was. So I can set this to 2 millimeters. I do apply to all flaps. They will. Okay, and if you go there, you can notice that these flaps are way smaller. If I put this to 5 again, they will be bigger, and 2, they will be really, really small. And yeah, you can use 2-3 millimeters. Okay, so I think 2-3 they will be okay. And the thing is that if you reduce the flaps, you actually get to put more pieces on your paper.
Is everybody okay? I have a viewer down.
Who's down? So, ok, to redimension, pergunta ao Fábio quantos centímetros é que ele queria a mais?
You okay? You okay?
Okay, we need to wait a little bit, apparently. So guys, if you have any questions at all, just ask.
Okay, we're good. We're good to go. Go, go, go.
Okay, so to alter the dimensions of this, you go to the 2D main menu, change scale, scale factor, click on onto the scale factor, and then this is set to millimeters again. So if you want to add, for example, 2 centimeters in the width or the depth or the height, you just go and add those 2 centimeters. I'm gonna add 2 centimeters on the depth.
No, on the width.
On the width. Okay, so sorry. So 2 centimeters will be 20 millimeters. So I changed this is 417. I changed to 437. Okay, and go OK. And actually your 3D model stays the same, but as you can see on the other side, all your pieces grew. So they are now out of the paper, margins. These dotted lines are the paper margins. I'm gonna go to settings, print and paper settings. This is A4. I got a side margin of 8 and a top bottom of 20. Yeah, this is about okay. So what I need to do now is that everything is out of place. So I'm gonna need to move all this so that they can be in place again. Okay, so this is the boring part. So what I need to go is go to select and move, and I select my piece with the right click, and then hold the mouse with the left. I select with the left mouse button, and then I drag with the button, and I can use my keys, my cursor keys, my arrow keys to move it a little bit more. And we're gonna do the same to this one, and the same to this one. This is actually not too bad. And the same to this one. And okay, so this one will be harder. We can do this is we can rotate. And when you select the rotate tool, you get all these kinds of dots, and you select one dot, and then you select a point anywhere, and with the mouse pressed you just move up and down or side to side, so the piece rotates around that axis. Okay, so you set the axis for the piece, and then you go to select and move again, and since we moved it a little bit, it may be enough to make it fit. Okay, so I'm a little bit quiet because I'm a little bit concentrated here, trying to move this piece. Okay, this is a problem with this program, is because the problem is that it will not move exactly where you want the pieces. So I'm gonna rotate this one too a little bit. Maybe it will go better. Okay. So what you need to pay attention here is that your pieces must not be touching or overlapping each other. And also they need to be inside the margins of the paper, or else it will be an hassle, because you need to, well, you will need to cut and join faces. Sometimes you cannot avoid that. Let me show here, for example, these supports here. You cannot avoid that because you cannot cut the supports in half, and so you need to have them, well, like that. Okay, so what we would need to do right now for all of this is to move all the pieces so that they would fit again inside the margins of the paper. That sometimes means that you really need to move pieces around and try to find the best way to make them.
Isn't there a fix this for me option?
Yeah, there is a fix for me option. You can do this. Let me check where it is, because you don't actually use it. I think it's this one. Yeah. So you can go to 2D menu and recalculate parts layout and auto adjust to fit the shit. No, you go to manual. You have your dimensions here, and you have the spacing of parts. You can put like 1 millimeter spacing between the parts, or 2 millimeters to be safe. But what it will do is that it will do this. So you end up with lots and lots of wasted paper. Okay. Okay, like this you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 sheets of paper. Okay, 14 sheets of paper. And like this you have 11. So it's 3 less sheets of paper. And you can save paper, and you can save printing time. Okay, so to put the numbers of the pages, you go to these boxes, and you have this one that says show page number, and you click it, and you have the page numbers. This also has some 3D tools, but they are not great, so nobody uses them. Okay, so on this armor, you've seen that you have this is chest. Okay, on this armor you see that you have like several pieces. Okay, we work the chest, and since this set came all from the same 3D model thingy, all the pieces are scaled on the same values. So you can do to scale the other parts is you go to scale factor, you copy this number here, which says scale, you go and do Control C or copy, and then you open, for example, the back armor, which is this one. To the menu, scale change scale factor, scale, and you just paste the number that you copied, and we'll automatically rescale this to fit the other one. Okay, so this is really useful with this program. Problem is, you can only, as you see, when I change the scale, if I change the height, for example, on, like, let's say a huge number like
1,000,
I change the height, which would be this, to 4 millimeters. It will change the width and the depth. Okay, so problem with this program is that you cannot change one measure and not change the other ones, and that is something you can do with Armorsmith, which is pretty cool. So do you guys have any other doubts with this one, with the Pepakura Designer?
Faz join split, já fizeste.
Do you have any questions about this? I have a pretty desktop. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the Armorsmith. Okay, and this is the Armorsmith. You have a completely different layout, and what we're gonna do is that we're gonna import. Okay, because well, that's the way it works. So let me go to my desktop. And we're gonna do the same thing, the chest. Okay, so when you import, you get your piece here, and then you go and say go to attach costume part, and you go to one of these points and you attach it. Easy. Okay, so now you have your armor on your body. One of the cool things you have here is that this avatar here, you can customize it to be your actual body. So I can change the height. And see, like this. So let's go to 180 again. And right here on the property grid, you get general measurements. So you got height, torso length, shoulder length, head width, head depth, every part. So you got foot, you got shoe size. So this is in centimeters. Here it's in millimeters, and you got all kinds of measurements you can take, so that this avatar is the closest you can get to you, which will make redimensioning the parts really easy. So if you double click, let's double click here. If you double click on your part, you get a zoom in, and your property grid just changed. You got local space position, local space rotation, and you got your scale. And the thing is that you can change these numbers individually, and they will change individually there. Other way you can do it is that you can right click on top of your part, do scale part, and you can have uniform, x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. Okay, so let's say we want to add some to the x-axis. Okay, this is really. So x-axis is not working pretty well. Should have done the latest update. So we're gonna do it on the y-axis. You can come here and you can stretch it or make it smaller. So, and if you're not happy, you can always undo. Other thing you can do is that you can translate. Translate is to move the part, and to translate the part you get this 3 axis. So if I move the blue one, it will go front and back. If I move the green one, it go up and down. And if I move the red, it goes side to side. So this is really great because you can go and try to adjust the armor to your avatar. You rotate the avatar with the left mouse button down, by the way. So let's center this, and then you can go and scale. So this is supposed to go a little bit down there. Let's try the Z. Okay. Okay, what I did here was left click on top, right click on top of the avatar and do show hide avatar, because it will make it simple to change the Z axis, for example, and scale the X axis. See, right now it works. And then you can show the avatar again and see if there is any avatar coming out of your piece. Not really, so it should be perfectly dimensioned. Other thing cool you have with this program is that I can now import again, and let's import the back armor. So I get another piece here in my workspaces. I turn my avatar around, go to attach costume part, choose a point here, and it's attached. It should be. Okay, so it's attached. Okay, so I can do the same, so I can translate. I need to select it and then translate to go to the back. And it actually needs a little bit more width. It's a work of patience, like everything. So yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, so here you go. You have your parts and they are scaled. Thing is, you can actually scale them to you. So this is a pretty huge difference from Pepakura Designer. Okay, so now how do we print this? Okay, so let's select our chest. You go to patterns, should be self-evident, and again you get a 3D model that you can rotate, similar to the Pepakura Designer. You go, okay, So you get your 3D model here. Scroll in, scroll out with the mouse wheel, and rotate with your right mouse button down, side to side. Up and down it's a little bit more hectic. So you got your pieces here, and you can select your piece, and it will automatically light up the piece on your pattern side of the thing, or you can click on your piece on the pattern side of the thing and it will light on your armor. Okay, so you have, again, you can join cut. So let's go away. Okay, to move the canvas around, you use your arrows, and let's do the giant cut. I can go here and it's exactly the same principle. If it's green, I cut, and if it's red, it will join. So well, it's basically the same thing. To move the pieces around, you go and you select translate, and you move the pieces around. Oh, there's that one. So you go translate and you move the piece around, and to rotate you click rotate, you click on anywhere on the piece, and this one is the tricky one because you cannot click outside. So you need to click inside and then inside again to rotate it. Or you so this one is pretty tricky yet. I don't think it I don't know if in the latest version this got corrected. So you can move your pieces around, you can rotate them so that they can fit better. And in this property grid you get your Edge ID font size, default tab length. We can change this to 3, and you can see it changing there. 5, which was 3, and you got your paper size, your side margins, your top and bottom margins. You can adjust this to your printer. Some printers accept lower margins on the side, others don't. If I change this to like 10, the papers will be smaller. You can see that moving. Watch. See the line? Move the lot. So 8 or 4, these are millimeters again, so be aware of that. What you need to do now in this mess is that you need to move these pieces around and rotate them so they can all fit together in the smallest amount of space possible. Then just print, cut, glue, and have fun. It's a way to build armor. I'm not saying it's the best way to build armor or it's the worst way to build armor. It's a way to build armor. I actually like it, so it's my way to build armors. Any questions you have, just drop us a line. I'm gonna close this now. If you have any more questions about these programs, please feel free to ask. We can do a live addressing your issues, or we can try to do a live addressing your issues if we know how to solve them. Pretty much everything we know about these programs was a bit like touch and go and learn on the go. But yeah, Armorsmith or Pepakura, I would give the $20 to the guy and would buy Armorsmith, and because it's so worth it. It's a better tool in most aspects. The Pepakura Designer, yeah, it can work well. It works well for some stuff, but if you don't have the body type for which the 3D model was modeled to, it will be limited and it will be difficult, because yeah, you got the right width but not the right height, and you need to compromise on that. Actually, our first armor, the marine armor, was all done in Pepakura Designer because Armorsmith was not available, or
it did not exist.
It didn't not existed yet, and there was a bit of compromise and cut pieces, and yeah, so we had to do that. With Armorsmith, I redimensioned some of the marine armor pieces with Armorsmith to make them again, to be more comfortable, and it was, yeah, completely different. So if you have any questions, anything, feel free to ask, and we'll be drop us a line on Facebook. It's the Forge Cosplay. On Instagram, it's the Forge Cosplay. So we're the Forge Cosplay on pretty much every media. And yeah,
bye bye.
Bye bye.